Hello, I'm Chris Williams, and today we're going to be reviewing Batman 71. We'll start off with the cover before we have to get into the misery that Tom King wants to throw at us with this issue. Here we have a cover by Andy Kubert and Brad Anderson. I really like this cover. It's a really good cover, after all. My one fault with it would be that Bane is too big in the background. Well, he looks more like a giant instead of the hulking human that he's supposed to be from the Venom. It looks like his legs are too big, and he looks like he's about 20 feet tall. I mean, that's not bad, but it just looks like he's more like he's not human, rather just being someone who's pumped up on a super steroid like his Venom. We also see the Batman from Flashpoint, Bruce Wayne's father, and we also see Batman looking behind him with his cape and cowl up. It's a good cover, and I enjoy it. It's the only thing really good about this issue. All right. Now, this first page here, this shows you what people should do when they list who worked on a comic book. Have a first page where it can be either inserted into the artwork in like this, or directly into the artwork, like in between panels or something like that, or part of the artwork itself. Here we have them listing who worked on here. We have Tom King, we'll get more into him a little later, and we have Michael Janin and George Fornes for the art. We've come to the part where we find out that Commissioner Gordon says that Batman no longer has any right to work within Gotham City, not after what he did to Bane, who was hospitalized, but Batman decided to brutalize him again anyway. Apparently, Tom King's stories have been telling how Bane trapped Batman in a bunch of dream worlds. And we can see Commissioner Gordon talking to Batman. Or, well, it looks like this might be or whether it could be, the Batman's father who played Batman in Flashpoint. Because he makes the bat signal red. And all Commissioner Gordon can say is, Batman, Batman, because Batman isn't listening to him. Here we flash back to Batman being inside the Batcave. He looks miserable. Apparently part of his misery is the fact that Catwoman stood him up on their wedding day, as well as the Bane messing with his head, putting him through all these different nightmares over and over again. And yeah, I agree what they've done with Batman is bad. Making him low T and sad all the time because he got dumped by his girlfriend. Even though the relationship between Batman and Catwoman has, others have said, has never been a good relationship. Well, not that they aren't hot together. It's that she constantly screws him over and they constantly fight. Here we see Batman looking at the intruder and deciding finally to deal with it. He puts his mask back on, or rather a helmet. I guess Batman's wearing a Bat-style helmet now for his mask, and he goes up to the mansion. We flash back over to Commissioner Gordon, who doesn't know what Batman is doing. He goes back down to his office and he sees his daughter Barbara there, and he continues to complain that he doesn't understand what Batman is doing and that what he did to Bane was horrific. Well, Barbara Gordon listens on, and she suddenly leaves when he mentions that Batman, for some odd reason, didn't listen to him up on the roof, and that he turned the bat signal's light red. She leaves suddenly. Here we see Batman coming out behind the entrance to the Batcave, behind the grandfather clock. And he looks, well, this artwork is good, I gotta tell you. Michael Janin's art and George Fornes' art is really good. Now, I'm not quite sure. Do they do, I guess one's the finisher and one's the penciler? Because I'm not quite sure what they do here. And we see Batman as he goes through the mansion. Here's in the library. And he hears Bane calling to him, "Come, Bruce, we've been waiting for you." Now, I guess others have said this is either a dream or it's not a dream because they're not quite sure what's really going on. Now, I could say this feels more like a dream because I know Bane knows Bruce Wayne's secret identity. And, well, the artwork is good. It does looks like some of the backgrounds are kind of maybe doesn't have that much definition to it. Here we see Batgirl as she swings away. She's going to start contacting either friends of Batman or people who worked for Batman, his sidekicks. And she looks determined as she's swinging through the city. And this is good artwork. I'm really enjoying it. Even if I think the background could have been colored better. Here we see her contacting Dick Grayson, as well as the African-American Batman, as well as Jason Todd. He makes a couple of snide comments, and he pretty much says that he's not coming along. The same goes for Dick Grayson. Well, Batwing, which is the African-American Batman, says he will be there. Barbara Gordon contacts Tim Drake as well as Damian Wayne, and they all will eventually meet up to talk with Batman. Here we see Batman facing off against Bane, and we still aren't sure if this is a dream or not. And I gotta tell you, the writing is really bad. Mainly because you can just see it right here. Why is Alfred serving Bane? As well as, well, I guess, right? Is that really Batman's father? I don't know. The guy behind Bane. Here we see Batman meeting up with Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, as well as the Robins, Damian Wayne and Tim Drake, as well as Batwing. And we see another character as well. Two other characters. I'm not quite sure who they are. And he says he knows where Bane is and where he's hiding. Apparently this might be showing what happens before Batman beats up a nearly comatose or broken Bane. Because as I said at the beginning of the video, or at least partially into it, where here Bane is saying to Batman, have a seat. Well, Batman says, I'm going to break your back, Bane. And here we can also hear Bane's glass being cracking a little as he puts more pressure on it because Batman has riled him up a bit. By Batman not accepting Bane's offer of a seat, we can see they're getting ready to fight. But sadly, nothing actually happens in this issue. Because what happens next is we see Alfred go over to offer his master some food under Bane's orders, but Batman slaps the food out of his hands while Alfred has his hands up in defense. And Batman asks, why are you doing what Bane asks of you? At least that's what I think what Batman should say, but it just goes into more of Tom King's more melodrama. Here we see Batman breaking into a hospital, but at first we think he's breaking into where Bane is being kept. But it looks like he is breaking into where Bane is kept, because Bane is basically in a coma. Or at least basically in a full body cast from what I understand of it. Here we can see one of the nurses saying, excuse me, to Batman. And, well, she doesn't look scared, but I imagine she's just putting on a brave face. Here we also see Batman basically being told by Alfred, he hasn't beaten you. But you have lost. And I can see that. And we see more of Tom King's writing here, where Batman is being talked down to by his father figure, Alfred, and basically reducing Batman, the Batman, to a child. And it ends with Batman, of all things, punching one of the Robins, at least Tim Drake, while Batwoman and the rest look on. Well, we also hear Alfred's words saying, "Oh, Master Bruce, can you not see? He's broken you." And I can see that, and the issue ends on this note. After Batman has pretty much gone through all this stuff, he's pretty much broken one of his rules by actually hitting one of his sidekicks. And the other sidekicks think he might be finally losing it. Most likely what happened was that Batman hallucinated actually going into that hospital and thinking it was like some sort of villainous lair. Well, it was just a hospital, and the sidekicks pretty much stopped him from doing anything. Or this happens directly after Batman beat up Bane when he was basically hospitalized, like Commissioner Gordon said. So it kind of ends on an iffy note of what you would understand or if what actually happened. Because I'm not quite sure. Because we see all the sidekicks there, Barbara Gordon and Damian Wayne, behind Batman as he breaks into the hospital. But it ends on a note where he's suddenly punching one of the Robins, saying how he knows he's sad that Selina Kyle, Catwoman, left him at the altar. So this story is rather jagged and disjointed. It's like more than one story is going on at the same time, while having Tom King writing Batman as a little soy boy and being sad and crying about being left at the altar by Catwoman. And I have to say this was a bad issue. It's disjointed and I could hardly understand it. And it just paints Batman as not only broken, but also basically he hit one of the Robins. You really want to take Batman in a new direction, don't you, Tom King? Yeah, the wrong direction. If you like this review, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos without being subscribed, please subscribe. I want you to get all my notifications when you hit that bell. And also, leave a like and hit that and leave some comments down below. And remember, keep checking back in future videos for more news on my own upcoming comic book, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and, well, I want you all to have a great day. Bye.